it's Katie from healthyrootshappylife.com, and today I'm going to share with you the #1 thing that you can start doing today that will drastically change your health. So I'm asked all the time, Katie, I'm so overwhelmed. What do I do to start making these changes? What's the first thing I should do? And so I'm going to tell you guys, the one thing that you need to be doing, and you can do it today, is to start reading food labels. Whew. Now I know a lot of you are like, I already read the food label. I look at the fat, and I look at the calories, and I even look at the serving size. And that's fabulous, but I want you to dig deeper. You have to look at the ingredients list because you have to know what is actually in the food that you're eating on a daily basis. So I'm going to give you 5 things to look out for when you're reading your food labels, alright? So let's get started. First thing I want you to do is go down to the bottom of that label and look at the ingredients list. So if the ingredients list is really long and it's filled with things you either can't pronounce or you can't find in the grocery store, then you know that that's a highly processed food and it's not something that you want to eat on a daily basis, okay? The next thing I want you to look for is the words high fructose corn syrup. You don't want to eat this, primarily because when you see this in the ingredients list, it is a red flag that this is a highly processed food. And just like I said, you don't want that in your everyday diet. There are some issues with high fructose corn syrup. There are studies that have been done that show that our bodies process that a little bit different than we process different kinds of sugars. I won't go into it here, but there is a link below if you want to know more about that. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, I want you to look for the words hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oil. Why? Because whenever you see that, you know that there's trans fat in your food, and trans fat is something you never want to eat, okay? Now, it's really important that you read the ingredient label on this one, because the front of the package could say trans fat free. And you think you're good, you're doing good. But you don't know until you read the ingredients list. And the reason why is because the USDA has said it's okay for manufacturers to label something as trans fat free if there is less than 0.5 gram per serving of trans fat. But I think we don't want trans fat in our diet at all, so that's something that you definitely want to look for, okay? So the 4th thing I want you to look for is, now we're going back up into the food label part, and you want to look for sugar content, right? If you've ever been to one of my talks, then you know it's going to talk, or it's going to be at least a little bit about sugar, because it's something that we're all struggling with, or most of us are struggling with, a sugar addiction, because sugar is everywhere and it's in everything, and you don't even know it until you start looking at that label. So something to keep in mind, the USDA has recommended we have no more than 32 grams of added sugar per day. So start reading your food labels and you're going to be amazed at how much sugar is in your everyday foods. Promise. So the last thing I want you to look at, when you're buying grain products, so pasta, cereal, granola bars, breakfast bars, look at the fiber, okay? So I want it to have 2 to 3 grams of fiber or more. But when you see that it at least has 2 grams of fiber per serving, you know that it's coming from a whole grain and not a processed grain, right? Not a refined grain. And you're getting more nutrients in there. So when you're getting a grain product, look for 2 grams of fiber. So that's it, right? That's super simple, something you can start doing today to make positive changes in your life, right? Super easy. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and until next time, be well and happy. And if you're in the Southwest Virginia area, you should come and see me. I'm giving a talk October 2nd at the Blacksburg Library, and then November 7th at the YMCA. We're going to be talking about how to stay well through the holiday season. So, take care everybody. Bye.